Good morning, learners and viewers. Welcome to the session of Logistics and Supply Chain Management, MMPO 005. Today, we will continue with Unit 4 and we were discussing about supplier quality management. What we were discussing was how to find the qualified supplier, quality survey of suppliers. It is an evaluation process which enables the buyer to select the appropriate supplier conforming to the buyer's requirement. Does the supplier have the ability to respond to the buyer's requirement? And this can be answered by the help of a visit to the supplier site by a team of specialists or through a balanced question. The following are the survey evaluation on the supplier. First one is policies, practices, and quality. These are the basic guidelines based on which the quality assurance of supplier can be determined. They are the real intentions that are to be implemented in a variety of degrees. The main problem is to evaluate the policies and determine the degree to which they are to be implemented. Facilities. These are related to tests and inspections that meet the quality requirement of the purchased product. Samples are taken and checked with the vendor and buyer's gauge to compare the gauging system. This kind of checking reduces the risk to both the supplier and the buyer. Third one is procedures and action. These are the procedures for handling quality problems like gauge control deviations from existing specifications. The aim of the survey is to determine whether the procedures are in vogue or not. Fourth one is appraisal. Appraisal of personnel from viewpoint of quality is very difficult, but discovering the technical competence and attitude to quality can be established. But this could be just subjective at times due to turnover of key personnel. For a new product, line searching for a capable supplier is indeed a difficult task, and this can well spell the difference between the success and failure of a new product. Geographical location and close proximity is a reason to search for a supplier closer without a rating of sorts. But selection for a long-term supplier in high volume is a tedious process and should start early. The prospective suppliers can be located by any methods, but the pertinent questions that you should address are: how well do the objectives of the quality program confer to the buyer's need? Secondly, how well the practices of the quality control program confer to the objectives. The objective of this evaluation is to arrive at a judgment of how well suppliers program operates, neither to tabulate the efficiencies nor rationalize the shortcomings. The area of evaluations are quality, price, performance, production capabilities. What is supply chain reengineering? Business structure is continuously changing from one phase to another, and today has reached the stage of professionalism where it is revolving around customer focus in a big way. These changes have shown remarkable improvement in companies' performance. Measures such as quality, cost, services, and lead times. Hammer and Champion in 1993 identified these changes and improvements and packaged these ideas into a concept of business reengineering, which was later termed as business process reengineering, and in short we call it as BPR. The area is common between BPR and SCM, seems to be very few at a cursory glance, but SCM is not a traditional improvement technique, but a philosophy that helps in improvement, not involved with functional reviews, as highlighted by Stevens' model of supply chain integration. Business transformation from the concept what we make, we sell, to a more flexible concept of what the market wants us to sell can effectively be achieved from a competitive analysis and supply chain diagnostics. It is well understood that effective transformation is only possible after a series of phased acts involving technological reorganization, attitudinal and organizational attributes, and integration between the competition and the customer demands. Now, what is the biggest difference between SCM and BPR? If we talk about business re-engineering as it was proposed by Hammer and Champion back in 1993, the fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business process to achieve dramatic improvement in critical contemporary measures of performance such as cost, quality, service, and speed. On the other hand, what is supply chain management? As it was proposed by Stevens, the management of material suppliers, production facilities, and distribution services, and customer linked together via the feed forward flow of material and the feed flow of information. Parallels of essential between SCM and BPR. If we talk about area of change, if we talk in terms of process, in BPR it is elimination of wastes, speed up process, concentration of core processes, whereas in supply chain management terminology, it is to reduce non-value added activities, lead time reduction, and supply chain management provisions each firm to do what it does best. If we take the area of people, in case of BPR, it is broad level commitment, a management that questions, workforce that questions, multi-skilled workforce attitude changes. Whereas in supply chain management, it is board level at the top, commitment with the logistic champion at work, a management that questions, workforce that questions, multi-skilled workforce is required, and there is attitudinal changes. If we talk in terms of technology, in In BPR, it is related to technological changes. Information technology is key to BPR. Break the rules if required, treat vendors as adversaries. Whereas in SCM, technological changes are there. IT is a key to SCM also. It is related to partnership sourcing and deep penetration to customer bases. And if we talk in terms of innovation, it is customer focus, constant innovation, constant and product process innovation. Whereas in supply chain management, it is constant innovation at the interface of the company and to streamline the processes. Now we move to unit 5 that is related to information technology, a key enabler of SC. To survive, thrive, and beat the competition in today's brutally competitive world, one has to manage the future. Managing the future means managing information. In order to deliver quality information to the decision maker at the right time and in order to automate the process of data collection, collation, and refinement, organizations have to make information technology analysis, harness its full potential, and use it to the best possible way. Information technology is revolutionizing the way in which we live and work. It is changing all aspects of our life. The digital revolution has given mankind the ability to trade information with mathematical precision, to transmit it with high accuracy, and to manipulate it accurately. These capabilities of bringing down being a whole world within and around the physical world. IT has a major role to play in any organization. All organizations have certain objectives and goals to achieve. For any organization to succeed, all business units should work towards this common goal. But each department or business functions in the organization will have its own goals and procedures. The success of an organization rests in resolving the conflict between the various business functions and making them to do what is good for the organization as a whole. IT has a major role to play both at the organization level and at the departmental level. If we talk in terms of organization level, IT should assist in specifying the objectives and strategies of the organization. It should aid in developing, supporting, and procedures to achieve them. And in case of departmental level or at the level of department, IT must ensure a smooth flow of information across departments and should guide organizations to adopt the most viable business practices. At this level, IT ensures seamless flow of information across the different departments and develops and maintain an enterprise-wide database. What is the importance of information in integrated business? Information is the key to the decision making in business. The information systems and the technologies utilized in the supply chain represent one of the fundamental elements that links the organization into a unified and coordinated system. In the current competitive climate, little doubt remains about the importance of information and information technology to the ultimate success and perhaps even the survival of any supply chain management initiative. Cycle time reduction, implementation, redesign cross-functional processes, utilizing cross-selling opportunities, and capture the channel to the customer underpin the competitive position of business. Timely and accurate information is more critical now than at any time. Three factors have strongly impacted this change in the importance of information. Satisfying, in fact, pleasing customers has become something of a corporate obsession. Serving the customer in the best, most efficient and effective manner has become critical, and information that issues such as order status, product availability, delivery schedules, invoices has become a necessary part of the total customer service experience. Information is a crucial factor in managers' abilities to reduce inventory and human resources requirement to a competitive level. And thirdly, information flows play an essential role in the strategic planning for and deployment of resources. Information requirements determination for a supply chain. It is important to ensure that right information are captured and used to manage the supply chain effectively. That is doing right things and efficiently doing these things well. Four fundamental mistakes are commonly made when determining information requirements, and these are viewing system as functional instead of cross-functional, interviewing managers individually instead of jointly, not allowing for trial and error in the detailed design process, and asking the wrong question during the interview. To properly determine information requirements across organizations, it is important to use appropriate methods that ensure all information requirements are identified. Therefore, a cross-organization session using several structured interview techniques, including business system planning, critical success factors, and end means analysis are suggested for this purpose. Business system planning, that is BSP, is a structured interview technique developed by IBM. It focuses on identification of problems and decisions associated with an organization process and determine what information is needed to address them. For a supply chain manager, analyst must identify supply chain management problems and decisions for the member organizations. The result of this process is a set of tables listing the problems that must be addressed, the decision that must be made across. If we talk in terms of problems, it's to reduce order fulfillment, cycle time between supply chain member organizations, while maintaining or reducing total supply chain logistics cost. If we talk in terms of solutions, need to understand current order fulfillment performance between supply chain members and logistics, cost performance, trade-offs across the supply chain. The third part is information. It is order fulfillment performance for each organization, total supply chain logistics cost, order history between supply chain members, inventory carrying cost per item for each organization, and transportation cost and lead times by different modes and carriers. Now, this is related to critical success factors and information. It is integrated supply chain performance measurement system, whereas in terms of information, the performance measures for integrated supply chain, performance measures for individual member organizations, actual performance for supply chain and organizational measures, and targets goal for meter and historical performance for meters. Critical success factor, what we call it as CSF, it focuses on key performance areas that must function effectively for the organization to be successful and associated information requirements. For the supply chain, CSF have to be identified for each of the member organizations. As one might imagine, most of the organizations have common CSFs. Once the CSF has are determined the information we need to address, the CSF is then identified. Thirdly, it is needs analysis focuses on what it makes an organization to be both effective, that is doing the right thing, and efficient doing these things well. Are all the information we need to manage it. This interview technique consists of two phases. First, the analyst identifies the ends and the supply chain members consider important. The effectiveness issue associated with the ends and the information needed to address them. The second phase deals with means, their associated efficiencies issues, and the information needed to address them. Here we can see it in table. If you talk about ends, it reduces order fulfillment, cycle time across the supply chain in a way that improves customer satisfaction. Effectiveness, minimize the total supply chain logistics cost, activity-based cost, accounting of information, and maximize profit. And if we talk in terms of information, it is customer preference on features, cost, and time, profit by supply chain vendor organization, and supply chain performance. Traditional system development also does not follow for trial and error when designing information systems. The outcome of this approach to system development has resulted in systems that need to be changed the day they are implemented, and in the worst case, serve as systems that are totally unusable. Prototyping was introduced as a way to overcome these problems by validating systems requirement through experimenting, refining, and testing the system until the development team and users are satisfied that they have identified all of the information requirements for the system being developed. Information and technology applications for SC. Many innovations on technology-based approaches are well suited to the enhancement of supply chain management, including just-in-time, quick response that is QR, efficient consumer response that is PCR, and continuous replenishment, all rely heavily on the information made available through the latest technological advances. In the development and maintenance of the supply chain system, both hardware and software must be addressed. Software includes all the system and application programs used for processing, transaction, management control, decision making, and strategic planning. A few examples of software titles that address some aspect of supply chain management are base rate, carrier select, and match pay. Worker tool. It was developed by distributed sciences, with which user can compute freight cost, compare transportation mode rates, analyze cost, and serve effectiveness of carriers, and audit and pay freight rates. A new software program developed by Ross System called Supply Chain Planning is an integrated suite of constraints-based planning tools that provide demand, replenishment, and manufacturing tools for accurate planning and scheduling of those activities. Technology partnership between Procter and Gamble Distribution Company and several decision technologies resulted in a software system called Transportation Network Optimization. Several technologies have gained popularity recently due to their ability to facilitate the flow of information across the supply chain. Electronic commerce, what we call as e-commerce, electronic data interchange, EDI, barcoding and scanning, data warehouse, internet, internet and extranet, World Wide Web, decision support system are a wide, relatively recent phenomenon for supply chain management applications. We'll start with electronic commerce. Electronic commerce is e-commerce is a term used to describe the wide range of tools and techniques utilized to conduct business in a paperless environment. Electronic commerce therefore includes electronic data intelligence, that is EDI, which can be email, electronic funds transfer, electronic publishing, image processing, electronic bulletin boards, shared databases, and magnetic optical data capture, such as barcoding, the internet, and the websites. Electronic data interchange, that is EDI, is a computer-to-computer interchange of business documents and or information between trading partners in standard data format, where trading partner means cooperation between companies is required to get the EDI system running properly. Computer to computer and standard data format means information must be precisely formatted so that the computer can process the information without human assistance. EDI improves productivity through faster information transmission as well as reduced information entry redundancy. Accuracy is improved by reducing the number of times an individual is involved in data entry. The use of EDI results in reduced cost on several levels, including reduced labor and material cost associated with printing, mailing, and handling, paper-based transactions, reduced telephone and fax transmission, and reduced clerical cost. In general, we can say that EDI is used for communication of business information such as purchase orders, invoices, bill of lading, shipping instructions, production sequences, inventory of order status, fund remittance, and point of sale information, what we call as POS. What is barcoding and scanning? It is the most basic level. Barcoding refers to the placement of computer readable codes of items, cartons, containers, and even print cards. This particular technology application drastically influences the flow of product and information within the supply chain. As noted throughout this unit, information exchange is critical to the success of supply chain planning. Then comes data warehouse. Generally, a data warehouse is a decision support tool for collecting information from multiple sources and making this information available to end users in a consolidated, consistent manner. The concept originated in Iraq in 1970 when corporations realized that they had many isolated information systems, what they that time called as islands, that could neither share information nor provide an enterprise-wide picture of corporate activities. Internet. In terms of advancement in technology and communication capabilities, perhaps the most influential development over the past decade has been adoption of internet from strictly government and research application into the areas of commerce and mass communication. At the most basic level, a network of networks, the internet provides constant and global access to an amazing number of organizations, individuals, and information sources. Through systems like popular World Wide Web, what we call as www, internet users are able to conduct organized searches on specific topics as well as browse the various websites to discover the vast resources available to them through their computers. Intranet are networks internal to an organization that use the same technology that is the foundation of the global internet. Many industry analysts, experts such as corporate networks to provide most of the revenue for computer hardware and software vendors over the next few years as an increasing number of business expands their internal networks to improve efficiency. World Wide Web is the internet system for hypertext linking of multimedia documents, allowing users to move from one internet site to another and to inspect the information available without having to use complicated commands and protocols. The implication of web for business applications are obvious and far-reaching. Web-based technology and tools have been developed in virtually every industry and forms of commerce. Supply chain functions are no exceptions. For instance, enterprise transportation management was recently launched by Metasis through the Oracle Web Application Server. This application deploys a variety of critical information about transportation and distribution applications throughout the supply chain. The number of websites relevant to supply chain management is growing at a rapid pace, from specific sites providing information about the capabilities and fees of potential supply chain partners to educational sites developed primarily on references. Tools, the number of sites and the variety of information available on webs is impressive. Examples of websites such as www.com spacebar waynow.com. It provides information about the expected motor carrier arms of Conway Transportation Services. Second one is www.tebn.us.msu.edu. It provides access to global procurement and supply chain benchmarking initiatives. And the third one is www.supplychain.com, developed by the Supply Chain Council, provides a valuable reference source introducing shippers to the Council's mission and set up supply chain reference models, a leading and edge benchmarking tool being developed for specific supply chain applications. Now, Unit 6, that is e-supply chain, is SC. Undeniably, internet and other technological advancements have changed how people live and work, creating new doorways and chances for business to thrive. Supply chain management has been expanded into new realms thanks to the development of internet and other information technologies. World and Pure have brought this transition a tsunami transformation because the internet is a powerful medium for integrating and synchronizing all information processes connected to the supply chain and its management of supply chain encompasses the entire network of businesses and individuals involved in creating and distributing a good or services from the initial manufacturer to the final consumer. ASIC as a whole does uh, not just isolated parts should be considered when formulating strategies, making decisions, or evaluating performance. There are new marketing challenges that arise from the integration of supply chain management and e-commerce. Real-time online communication along the entire supply chain is now possible thanks to the widespread availability of the internet and other telecommunication technologies. For buyer and wear, electronic SCM is the natural combining of supply chain and e-commerce. Network integration is at the heart of electronic supply chain management, a concept developed to meet the challenges of a rapidly evolving e-business landscape. The term ESCM refers to the electronic supply chain management system that is organized and based on technologically facilitated connections. What is the definition of SCM? The term SCM has many explanations, but it is essential first to understand the former traditional SCM term. The term SCM refers to systematic, strategic coordination of traditional business functions and tactics across these functions within a specific organization and across businesses within the supply chain with the ultimate goal of enhancing the long-term performance of both the individual organization and the supply chain as a whole. One alternative definition of SCM network is a group of related businesses that work together to bring finished goods and services to customers. If we take this diagram, so it is showing five levels, that is supplier, manufacturer, distributor, retailer, and customer. And this is basically a two-way process. Goods will flow from left to right, and the information and funds will flow from right to left. Today, SCM has been transformed into ESCM due to Internet technology's impact on the industry. In 2000, a new era, ESCM began with its transition. This figure, which was proposed by Ross, proposed phased deployment of ESCM. Phase 1 was till 1960, where we do warehousing and transportation. Phase 2 was cost management, the total cost management that was effective till 1980. For another 10 years, it was integrated logistics management. For the next 10 years, it was supply chain management. And from now, that means from 2000 onwards, it is e-supply chain management. Key objective SCM is to coordinate efforts within and between businesses to maximize value for their clients. Coordination and information sharing among all stakeholders at all process stages are essential to realizing the full potential of an integrated supply chain and gaining strategic advantages. What are the components that influence the adoption of e-supply chain management? The primary drivers for the switch from SCM to ESCM responses to business requests brought on the organization's new requirements. In these, additional cost savings and process enhancement are required, and they can be achieved by extending the reach of organizations' modern management tools from their suppliers to their customers. Organizational processes are increasingly digitized as new technologies, resources, and management strategies are implemented. To meet the ever-increasing expectation of a customer market that is both more discerning and more powerful than ever, business must be nimble and efficient. Organizations entails reducing stock on hand while maintaining unrivaled standards of quality and services in production and distribution. Organizational trends are away from vertical integration and towards functional specialization. The trend towards contracting one non-essential business processes to outline firms with expertise in those areas. Planning and execution of SCM. Prior and during, identified three components in the planning and execution of ESG. First one was email. Ultimately, businesses should able to meet the needs of their customers through a streamlined supply chain that benefits the end user. Second one is responses. Supply chain planning responses. It all revolves around the hearing and responding to client feedback. The supply chains work rise dramatically when business combines to boost their profits through coordinated answers and innovative solutions. Third one is technology. With modern technology, especially online trade, each element above can contribute to the supply chain overall mission. It is possible to think of the internet, customer feedback, and technology as the input to ESCM, all of which contribute to the supply chain's final objective, that is the output of satisfied customers. Here in this diagram, we can see that how this ESCM is represented in terms of input, output, mechanism, and control. Electronic network responses technology are fed up in ESCM. And if we talk about process mapping, standardization, improvement, and lean, and process information sharing and people, all these nine components are part of ESCM. And what we are getting from this is customer satisfaction. Adoption of ESCM practices. Supply chain management is becoming increasingly important in today's business environment to differentiate oneself from the competition. Internet-enabled integration has increased the benefits of supply chain management by facilitating real-time information visibility and sharing. It has also provided a significant opportunity for improving cooperation among supply chain partners, which can serve as an important competitive differentiator for many businesses. What are which organizations have adopted ESG practices? Some of the most successful companies in the world were early adopters of electronic supply chain management. Their successes and failures in adopting ESG can serve an example for other businesses. Dell's success can be attributed mainly to the company's management tenets and vision for a zero-time organization based on the benefits of the internet and integrated virtual organization and online sales, all of which were put into place by the company by fall of 1996. Since then, Dell has undergone phenomenal expansions, with sales increasing by 58% in 1997, profit rising by 82%, and the company's stock splitting for the sixth time in 1990. Key to Dell's success was the strategy, facilitation of the company's ability to trade stock for data. Information is more mobile, disposable, storable, and trackable than physical goods. So, Dell kept records of customer orders, needs, and forecasts. Therefore, Dell uses the virtual integration model, which is shown in the figure, in which the conventional roles and boundaries of the value chain are disregarded. That is the virtual integration model consists of supplier, manufacturer, and customers. Today, their success still places it among the best businesses in the world. And among CIOs, Dell is still the preferred option for enterprise flag deployments. Walmart is a worldwide firm that owns and operates multiple warehouses, clubs, and outlet malls. The corporation is the largest in the world in retail sales and employs more people in private sector than any other company, with over 2 million. It also performs better than all the other bargain stores in terms of operating profit, inventory turnover, and sales per square foot. Cisco, a pioneer in networking industry, Cisco has revolutionized online interaction. One of Cisco's greatest strengths is its supply chain management capabilities, giving the company's extensive network of business associates. What are the challenges while adopting ESCM? ESCM streamlines demand and supply chain through seamless data and physical assets integration. Partner integration is a difficult task and is of itself, while the internet and the other IT structures make this kind of integration possible. Gaining a suitable or sustainable competitive advantage requires more than just installing shiny new software. While there are maybe financial and productivity gains for implementing internet-based technologies, doing so raises cultural and technical issues. Collaborating is based on trust, dedication, and cooperative standards. But it also necessitates that companies overcome their innate reluctance to share the confidential information with other parties. Successful adoption and enhanced performance can be guided by analyzing SCM opportunities and developing a clear roadmap and strategy for the electronic supply chain. Despite the challenges, ESCM has proven its worth for a variety of reasons, including improving operations, outsourcing more effectively, increasing profits, boosting customer satisfaction, producing high quality results, responding to competitive pressures, adapting to a more global market, leveraging the power of e-commerce, and managing supply chains as they become increasingly complex. What are the benefits of adopting ESG? IT and growing e-business applications together with related new business models are playing an increasingly essential role in supply chain management as organizations demonstrate lower costs and increased responsiveness of their supply chain due to e-business investment. Now, what is customer-centric ESG? This is the traditional supply chain which starts with assets and core competencies. If we talk about assets, it reaches in the form of inputs and raw material, product offering, channels, and the customer. And if we talk in terms of electronic supply chain, it is the customer, channel, product offering, input and raw materials, and then comes the assets and core competencies. As businesses increasingly rely on internet technology to link their channels worth of data, transactions and decisions, the entire channel system can continuously generate radical new sources of competitive advantage through cyber collaboration. This paves the way for collaborative product development, electronic marketplaces for purchasing goods, and network strategies for managing operations and satisfying customers. This kind of paradigm shift, which was made possible by information and communication technology, has had a significant impact on the way people work. It has made it possible to do more with less and gives people a chance to gain competitive advantage using ESG. What is the principle of ESG? ESG refers to the process in company operation that use e-business strategies. ESCM aims to facilitate and optimize value-added activities in supply chain through e-business technologies. E-business or conducting business over the internet is relatively new way to investigate potential value-added revenues in distribution channels. Regarding supply chain management, the e-business method utilizes web-based application for planning and carrying out front and back-end processes. Supply chain management that makes advantage of e-business practices is an effective strategy for gaining a competitive edge through increased value-added process visibility, agility, speed transfer, and customer satisfaction. Management of SC supply chain is in an internet-enabled setting should adhere to the network-oriented organizational principle, which stimulates that participants should share supply chain goals and functions as an integrated system, cooperate based on cooperative norms, and resolve conflicts, recognizes and rely on source interdependence, and recognize and rely on the interdependence of the resources. What are the approaches and tools for ESG? World Wide Web is a system built on the internet that allows computers and their users to communicate and share information through the use of markup language such as HTML and XML and graphical user interface that is GUI. Improvement in supply chain performance as well as new business models and SCM technologies have resulted from ICT innovations. Now we will review the foundation of information technologies and methods for applying these approaches to support ESC. We start with application scenario of the internet technology to SC. That is information publishing, interaction support, online transaction. And if we talk in terms of information system for ESCM, it is development history of supply chain information system. Infrastructure of information system for ESC. Third one is enterprise resources planning system, that is ERP. It is related to operations management, financial management, human resource management, performance analysis. What are the approaches of e-supply chain management? Numerous possibilities for enhancing supply chain management and creating a new e-supply chain management business models have arisen due to the aforementioned e-supply chain management technologies. ESCM has been defined from IT-enabled approaches and web-based technologies, especially in visibility transparency, connectivity with integration, and automation. Therefore, these benefits may result in enhanced speed, dexterity, coordination, and optimization. The following are the methods that benefit companies that are made possible by e-business technologies. First one is e-procurement. The term e-procurement refers to using enterprise resource planning system and internet technologies to facilitate procurement. E-business is a business method used in either the vendor's online or ordering system or an open market. Companies, employees can use a vendor's e-marketing system to access the company's marketing websites and browse electronic catalogs for the products they need. With this method, both time and money can be saved during the buying process. Suppliers and retailers will be able to work together to improve supply chain planning. Manufacturing and logistics can be coordinated with purchasing efforts when the vendor system offers clear visibility into enterprise manufacturing, planning, and stock levels of ordered items. Using this information, retailers can better plan production and inventory, role, advantages, and limitations of software packages to manage. User and IT professionals frequently bring up specific concerns when discussing the intended function of a system. The term software describes a wide range of computer-related concepts, including the developers of the underlying code of operating systems, coding languages, and application-specific routines and procedures. Fourth generation languages are widely used by people who are not programmers because they are much simpler than older programming languages such as Mantis. They were doing it because of the strong market forces created by electronic commerce and using competition. Companies can no longer plot along traditional paths or work to maintain the status quo. Companies are learning the hard way that they are faced with novel problems. The tried and true methods of past are no longer adequate. Now we face different challenges and opportunities because of the altered nature of the business. There is a rapid evolution towards a new model of computer operation. Many names have been coined to describe this style of computing, including network-centric, intranet, and distributed object computing. Its purpose is to offer businesses more flexibility, scalable, reliability, and user-friendly than those provided by conventional client-server architectures. Despite its potential, supply chain application software implementation is accompanied by ambiguity and misunderstanding that characterizes all technology and enterprise practice focus. Now we move to the most important part, that is the cost and performance measurement in S. This unit 7, cost analysis and measurement. Sometimes a company is unable to make sufficient profits despite of having a good range of products, better services, and even significant number of satisfied customers. There are several factors to which this shortfall may be attributed to, like insignificant sales, poor economic conditions, or through competition. But a major reason of lack of knowledge of possible losses. It is therefore important to evaluate the true costs or for a project cost object, that is product, job, services or customer. The clear picture of true cost will help in producing opportunities to minimize losses by making cost improvements. It is important to fully understand the various aspects of logistics costing because logistics management significantly impacts the firm's overall profitability of business in terms of both return on investment, that is ROI, and the shareholders' value as well. Logistics cost. The majority of the organization's accounting procedures still employ ambiguous techniques for allocating shared and indirect expenses, which frequently distorts the true profitability of the both product and consumers. However, standard accounting methods were designed to quantify product expenses, so they are typically inappropriate to analyzing the profitability of customers and marketplaces. Since logistics management is a flow-oriented concept aimed at integrating resources throughout a network that runs from suppliers to ultimate customers. It is important to monitor the cost and performance of that network flow. The lack of relevant cost information is likely one of the key reasons why many organizations have struggled to implement an integrated strategy to logistics and distribution management. The necessity to manage the entire distribution process is a system, taking into consideration the effect of decisions made in one cost area on other cost area has ramifications for the organization's cost counting system. Generally, traditional accounting system group cost into broad aggregated categories, preventing the more precise details required to determine the exact cost of servicing consumers who purchase specific product mix. It becomes hard to show the impact of the cost rate offsite insights and the logistics system without this facility to examine aggregated cost data. Generally, the effects of trade-off are assessed in two ways: from the point of view of their impact on total costs and their impact on sales revenue. Without an adequate logistics-oriented cost accounting system, it is extremely difficult to identify the extent to which a particular trade-off is cost beneficial. Total cost analysis. Logistics run throughout the process of supply chain, and therefore in order to assess the performance of supply chain, total logistic cost is of utmost importance. It is required to follow a practice of costing that is why more activity based rather than being confined to traditional functional boundaries to incorporate changes in more cost as and when process changes. The output of a logistics system and the cost corresponding to those outputs are evaluated to determine the logistics cost. Mission costing is a method of costing whereby the total logistics cost is based on the total system cost of accomplishing desired logistic objectives, that is, the system's output, as well as the cost of the various inputs used to meet these outputs. With this, we will be ending today's session.